Hello, this is a kind of reading or something of this episode of Freshies I wrote. Because it's funny. Making an animated series is fucking impossible. Especially when you don't know how to draw. So I'm gonna save this shit for like the visual novel that may exist, or the this format. I'm trying out this format where I just explain the story to you, like the script or whatever. And I just wrote the script, so it's gonna be like first draft, kind of. You know, if you're coming in expecting fucking Cartoon Network quality, even Cartoon Network can't even have that level of quality because they don't exist anymore. Huh. But yeah, this is an episode called Chips. I'm gonna explain it to you right now, and check out the credits for who made the image. It's by what's it called, at Chairfruit on Twitter. Yeah, they drew it for me. Good stuff. But yeah, uh, it'll be relevant to the story though. Yeah. So the story starts where they're in their store, in the classic Freshy store, right? And well, actually, okay. So the episode starts with the vending machine intro, right? Um, and Lynn is like, typically she's very like sleepy. Says, "Welcome to this episode of Freshies. Let's see what's in the special vending machine today." And it make vending machine sounds, and it's like she's like, "Oh, it's my lunch," and it's like the Freshies theme, right? And the lunch is like a bag of chips. It's indescript bag of chips, right? And then they're in the store, and Lynn's just crunching on her chips, because he's like, and they're like long, like long kind of chips, not like either like they're like thick or long. I forgot which one, but I said right here they're long square lines that could be confused for French fries. So that's funny. By the way, I wrote half of this like 3 months ago, and the other half I wrote just now. So they have packaging with a giant square in the middle. She stops. She's like, "Dude, you gotta try these chips. They're so good." She's like, "Huh? No, I'm fine." And by the way, Nina is the black skunk woman on the right side, and then Lynn is the Hispanic opossum woman on the left side, just for reference. Um, oh, and I'm fine. She's like, oh, "Come on, come on." She's like, "No, I'm really fine, Lynn. I don't need any chips, but they're pickle flavored." And she looks at the bag of chips like, "Hmm." The camera turns to her, like smiling, and she grabs the chips. She's crunching loudly. Mm. "Oh, these are fucking good. What brand are these?" And like, why they're, and she's like, Lynn's like, "Why they're Frida's pickle flavored chips on sale at your local Freshy store." She looks confused. Uh, just play along. I get advertising bonuses every time I do this. And Nina's like, "Oh well, whatever brand they are, they're fucking good. How come I've never heard of these?" Well, it might be because this particular brand of chips is going out of print next week. Like they're like super unpopular. I'm pretty sure they're locally made or something. And she's like, "What? I can't just let these go. These are my favorite brand of chips. We have to tell the world about this." And like, but how how do we get the world out about our favorite brand of chips and with a budget of less than a bag of them? And Nina's like, I have an idea, but it'll be a long shot. We'll use the classic word of mouth technique." And like a day later, Lena and Lynn go to the random parts of the town, and Lena's like, "We're gonna shove this brand of pickle chips in random people's faces and see if they want to buy millions of bags of them. I feel strangely strong about this bag of pickle chips for some goddamn reason, so it might work." She sees like a rat man walk by. He's like 30. I said he looks like Phoenix Wright, which is so funny. His name is Dallas, apparently. She's like, "You, sir, you want to try our chips? We're giving out free sample." "Don't you mean free samples?" "No, we only brought one bag. They're going out of print, apparently." And he's like, "No, thanks. I don't like taking pickle flavored things from strangers. But if you don't try it now, you'll never be able to. Imagine the last years of your life living in regret because you don't take this pickle chip from me right now." He looks into the distance for a second. "Okay, I'll try a chip." He eats the chips for like a strange little time. He's like, mmm, mmm, mmm. It's mediocre. See you around. Beat. She looks at Lynn. She's like, "Well, that's the only idea I had. You have any ideas?" And Lynn's like, "We should go to May's Palace. That's a good place to think and shoot the shit." and then like zoom to like a cuts to like a underground music bar like the background, and it's called May's Ice Palace, and it has like a giant ice cube or something at the front, like in a neon sign. Um, and Nina's wearing like a giant fucking sweater or like her aviator jacket, like a big like um brown aviator jacket. She's like, Jesus Christ, Lynn, it's fucking freezing in here. And she's like, oh yeah, the AC's always on full blast. You can never feel it but you never feel when a show's going on. And she's like, how do you come here all the time? Well, May's Ice Palace is the best venue in the city. It has all the coolest bands. Last week I saw a punk band perform and then a fucking clown folk band. Clown folk? Clown folk. So yeah, this is Lynn, by the way. So if anyone's gonna be receptive to the new chip flavor, it's gonna be these guys. And he's like, I didn't know you went to concerts. Well, how else am I supposed to stay sane being an assistant manager of a convenience store? They barely pay me minimum wage. She's like, I couldn't handle concerts. I usually listen to the music alone. And then it cuts to like her like crying in bed to some um to some like I put like an alt rock song here, but more recently it'd be like the Kingdom Hearts soundtrack. And then goes back to Lynn. Okay, now that I mention it, I have an idea. So the clown folk band I mentioned, right? They had a merch table that was completely sold out by the time I left, right? She's like, yeah, but let's also do that, but with a ton of these chips. She's like, sure, but why would they be would they be as enthusiastic about another clown folk band as the other one that performed? Would it work twice? She's like, okay, we'll change it up a little bit. And what's it called? He's like, And then Nina's like, do I have to perform? I'm not so good at being upstage, Lynn. I'm not sure I can handle that. And she's like, don't worry about it. These guys are cool. You literally fall on your face and they'll be fine with it. And so like skip to a couple weeks later, unspecified number of weeks. And Nina and Lynn are dressed up as mimes in the shot, and they're doing their makeup in the mirror in the bathroom, right? And she's like, Jesus, Lynn, could you get any stronger outfits in this? I feel like if I move the wrong way, it's gonna rip. And Lynn's like, listen, you wanted to advertise these chips. Don't get on me. Also, I paid for these outfits. And they both walk out for like a slightly annoyed look on their face, or boordish. And she's like, and then, realize, oh shit, I just realized I brought my guitar. You got your drums in the car. Did you get a bassist? And then Ted comes from off screen. And Ted's the white, like golden retriever type of guy, like dog person. He comes from off screen in the orange and black jester outfit. And he's like, hi, Nina. He waves rapidly. Oh, right. Ted, do you know how to play bass? Well, Lynn said it's basically playing one note. I think I can handle that much. And we're apparently up there for only like 4 songs. And she looks at Lynn with like a very annoyed smile. Oh, it's basically one note, huh? Only 4 songs. Then why do you make me learn 2 albums worth of Black Sabbath songs, Lynn? 2 albums worth of. Lynn looks nervous. She's like, she's like, oh, let me get my stuff out of the car. And she like walks away, looks away. And then he's like, Lynn, it took me 4 days to learn those riffs. Oh, God. What did I get myself into, Ted? I can't play guitar well enough to perform, much less move an audience to revive an obscure brand of chips. And then Ted's like, well, like my dad always says, something's better than nothing. And he's like, how's your dad doing? Or she's like, how's your dad doing anyway? And I said, like, the accentuation would be, how is your dad doing? But either way. And Ted's like, he's all right. He's got a new broom and dustpan set. And she's like, huh. And then she would ask like about the like, why is he in a jester suit rather than a mime suit? And it was apparently they're just out of mime suits, whatever store they went to. And then they're like, okay, let's help Lynn. And then they skip to the soundtrack, right? They're tuning their instruments and their stuff on stage. It's pretty dark. And there's like a small crowd of 20 people up front, right? It's pretty energetic. The energy is, chattering, very strong energy. And the band that, our main characters are doing, this is the first opening set. And Nina's extremely nervous, visually nervous, like cartoonishly nervous. She's like chittering and into the stuff. She's like, her brain's going insane. She's like, what am I doing? I don't know how to play guitar. She's trying to just tune the guitar. She's like, dong, 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 dong. And then she's like, I don't think I practiced enough. I don't know my scales. What are we playing again? Oh, what's the first song? Oh God, I don't practice the first song. What am I gonna do? And she's like, dun 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 dun. And then the high string breaks. Her eyes shift back and forth, and she goes like, Sandra's like, you guys good? And she's like, no, I'm having a little technical issue. She like walks forward. She jerks up like like clumsily, and she trips on one of the many cords and falls flat on her arm. And she's like, it goes, and like for like a pause for like and like and Lynn's like, oh my god, are you okay? And she's like behind the drums, and Ted just like clicks off screen like with the speed of like a video game character like Luigi or something, and he comes back with like a first aid kit with specifically a red and white pill on the front, like the Doom remasters. And Nina sucks her teeth. She's like, nah, I mean, I'm good. And Ted starts to wrap her arm with like a cleaning wipe and like wrap her arm with a bandage. And Lynn asks the engineer, could we get a couple of minutes? And then they go outside the venue. It's nighttime. They're like by it's like kind of like, you know, like full stuffed parking lot. And they're sitting in like Lynn's crusty 90s like Japanese sedan, which I'm not sure Japan exists in this universe yet. We'll figure it out later. With like dim fluorescent bulbs above them. And Lynn's like, hey, Nina, if you're not doing well, we can just cancel, you know? We only had half an hour to perform and something anyway. You seem very stressed. She's like, I don't know. My brain just suddenly just like kind of exploded. It seems like all these people looking at me in a mime costume and, you know, we're learning the songs and it's my first time doing this. And she's like, well, be fair. You look good in that skirt. And she's like, thanks. And Lynn goes, it's not like we have anything to prove. All we're doing is trying to sell some chips. A trunk of chips. Worst case, we could just eat them. And then she's like, if we fuck up, the brand's gonna go out of business, though. And then Lynn's like, maybe. But I don't know if the chips are worth a broken arm, honestly. And I will say, it has been cool hanging out with you this week. I've been wanting to show you this place for fucking years. And Nina's like, oh, yeah, it's been pretty fun having you teach me all this music stuff. I can't believe I haven't heard of Mudhoney before this. But you spent so much money on the costumes, and Lynn's like, don't worry about it. I am your manager friend after all. And he's like, assistant manager. Lynn's like, same thing. Okay, well, I want to, and then you go back. Okay, I want to try to play the rest of the set. We learned a bunch of songs for a reason, right? And she's like, sure, if that's what you want, but just be careful. I don't want you to break my drum kit. And she's like, all right. Oh, by the way, where's Ted? You didn't come out with us? And she's like, oh, I made him get some fries. And the car cut back inside. And Ted's like, I'm sorry, I ate your fries, but I got you some crazy meat instead. And then the show pauses and it's like goes like, for all intents and purposes, all meat in the Freshy universe is plant-based unless stated otherwise. Thank you. And Lynn just like pauses and looks, just like eyes him up like, thanks, Ted. So they start tuning again and get ready. You know, they set up the all their guitars and like bass and like drum set, the mics, and like Nina sets up her like distortion pedal, everything. She got a new string. Dun, 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 dun. And then Nin's like, you ready? And then Nina nods. And like she shouts to the guy, hey, we're ready. She gives a thumbs up and the lights go down, right? And they play a chord like a drum, drum, that sounds like a very distorted, like a somewhere between like early Black Flag and the Pillows. And then they start playing some songs like, you know, that have like very simple chords, very like garage but rock songs that sound really rough in terms of playing ability and like, you know, the quality of the sound because they're very cheap instruments. But the audience likes it well enough. And of course there are no vocals because they are mimes after all, or they're supposed to be. And the scene gets back to the floor. And Nina's like, man, the other day was fun. We should become a real band. Ted's like, what would be our name? She's like, what about Face Paint Mafia? Lid comes back to from back to the store carrying like a big box. And she's like, keep working on those names, Nina. And Ted's like, what's in the box? And Lynn's like, well, let's say our plan worked. And our Freshy store got a batch of Frida's pickle flavored chips. And they're probably going to be a lot more. And Lynn's like, do you think my begging at the end of the set worked? And Lynn's like, yeah, they probably felt so sad about it. Everyone bought a ton of them after the show. And Nina's like, well, ring me up. I want a bag. And then, you know, she rings her up and she takes the chips out and eat it. And she's like, chews it slowly. And Ted's like looking at her face. He's like, what's up? She swallowed it. It's like she's like, oh man, they changed the recipe, and then it ends, and then it's like the credits of the thing. So yeah, that's the episode, and for I guess for this, I won't actually. I put the audio version of the end credits, but not the actual video. But yeah, that's it. But yeah, if you enjoyed that, thank you for listening to this. The audio drama version of Freshies. I've been working on this episode for actually a while. I'm glad I actually got like another episode done because I've been like, you know, procrastinating it, and I really want to watch or write another episode of Freshies. But yeah, that's about it. See you. It's just a cold night once again. I need a vacation now and then. I'm stuck in a rut, I don't make sense. I guess I'll just go sit at home and rest. I think I'll just go ignore all my stress. I think I should just go and move out west. I think I'm a mess.